This is actual physical proof of the miracle of Jerusalem and their defeat over the Assyrian army. You can watch the full episode on my YouTube playlist of archaeology under the title Bible Evidence Unearthed.
Were the ruins of Nineveh. In 1830, the British colonel, Robert Taylor, found among the ruins of Nebi Yunus a six-sided prism covered with cuneiform writing. This inscription, often referred to as the Taylor Prism, is currently on display in the British Museum. The problem with the Taylor inscription is that back in 1830, when it was found, nobody could read a word of it. Inscription on the Taylor Prism could now also be read, and was an inscription of none other than Sennacherib himself. On it, Sennacherib says, "As to Hezekiah the Jew, he did not submit to my yoke. I laid siege to 46 of his strong cities, walled forts, and to the countless small villages in their vicinity, and conquered them." Notice that Hezekiah, the king of Judah in the Bible, is named by Sennacherib. This event is also recorded in the Bible. Isaiah chapter 36 says, "In the 14th year of King Hezekiah's reign, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, attacked all the fortified cities of Judah and captured them."
These winged bulls were on either side from the central court, looking down to the Lachish room in Sennacherib's palace in Nineveh. It says that while Sennacherib, king of Assyria, and his forces are laying siege to Lachish, that he sends his officers up to Jerusalem to deliver a message to Hezekiah and the people there. So we have the Bible and the Assyrian records coming together in this event. This is the dramatic event between the Assyrian records and the Israelite records in the Bible.
This is Tel Lachish, the mound of ruins of the city the Assyrians attacked in 701 BC. Since the Bible says that Sennacherib laid siege to Lachish, and since the stone reliefs from Sennacherib's palace show us a stone carving of the Assyrian siege ramp at Lachish, then it should not come as a surprise that in 1973 at Lachish, the Assyrian siege ramp was discovered and excavated. This is what the excavations looked like in 1973, and this is how they look today. This vertical section was analyzed. It was realized that the mound that had previously been cut into was made up of a massive pile of small stones.
All these stones that are about the size that an Assyrian soldier could take and throw onto that pile. This is where the people above are fighting for their lives, for their very existence, and where the Assyrians with their huge siege engines are assaulting this wall. Archaeologically, all the things that you see depicted in the stone reliefs that are being thrown down from the walls, the arrowheads, the sling stones, all that was found by the masses in this particular area. Syrian soldiers would come and throw these rocks one at a time until estimated 19,000 tons of rocks were piled up to the base of the city wall, and the people were fighting for their very existence, but they were no match for the Assyrians. The Assyrians did what they always did. They breached the city wall, burned the city, killed a bunch of the people, and sent the rest of them into exile.
After capturing Lachish, the Assyrian army burned the entire city. After the fall of Lachish, the only fortified city that is left in the kingdom of Judah is the capital, Jerusalem, and the Assyrians lay siege to it. In his inscription, Sennacherib says, "Hezekiah, I made a prisoner in Jerusalem, like a bird in a cage." Now, if the Assyrians capture Jerusalem, then that means God has broken his promise that from these people is going to come in the future the Messiah. And so God can't allow Jerusalem to be destroyed, so he delivers Jerusalem through a mighty miracle. 2 Kings chapter 19 says, "That night the angel of the Lord went out and put to death 185,000 in the Assyrian camp. When the people got up the next morning, there were all the dead bodies. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, broke camp and withdrew. He returned to Nineveh and stayed there. So in Sennacherib's inscription, he is listing out, boasting about his great accomplishments. And one of these is that he lays siege to Jerusalem, but he never mentions that he captures Jerusalem.
There's no question that what the city he wanted to put there to brag about was Jerusalem. But he doesn't have Jerusalem in his main showroom. Why? Because according to his own records, according to the Bible, he never captured Jerusalem. And so he has the second most important city in Judah there instead. This is archaeological evidence. Sennacherib never captured Jerusalem. The Bible says that that's because of a miracle. It's pretty easy to believe that it was because of a miracle, because of all the cities that the Assyrians attacked during the whole Assyrian Empire, all the way from north of where we are right now, all the way as far south to Egypt, and everywhere in between. Every single city that the Assyrians attacked, laid siege to, they took, with one single exception, and that is the city of Jerusalem.
So essentially what was discovered in Nineveh were the Assyrian records. And so now the Assyrian records could be compared with the Israelite records in the Bible. And especially in this shared event between these two records, which was the Assyrian conquest of Judah. And we find that the two agree. They're from two radically different perspectives, but they agree in the details and the events of what happened and who was in charge of them. And so we have the same kings named in both records. We have also the details of the events themselves, of what happened, what was taken, what wasn't taken. I can't think of a site where everything comes together, the archaeology, the biblical record, the extra biblical record, to demonstrate that the Bible is talking about real people, real places, real events, real destructions, and real deliverances. And this is good news because we are in the same situation in the world today that they were back in the days of Nineveh.